All right, we are getting for our new stream for today, and for today I didn't end up streaming this morning, but it's also all right. All right, so if we review a bit the code of yesterday first, there was a little bit of code that's creating two signals, audio inputs and audio inputs counts. And if I go and check what I have in my log here, it's mostly like every time I get an audio input, I create a new signal with an array, being sure that I get the state of the application of audio inputs, and I set new audio inputs with a spread notation. So this happens just over here. So each time I get a new device, I get it added to the new device here. And the idea here is that I would have a component called audio input select with some props, and I would like to have as a prop the audio inputs and the audio input counts. And I would like, so once the component is initialized once, then as it will be only initialized once, as it is like solid.js. Then I would like to check how many audio inputs we have, because on the first time it will give us audio inputs counts to 0, and then audio inputs counts to 4. And now let's get chilled on what we're gonna pursue, which is to make this component ready. So first of all, I will stop logging everything in here, and I need also to do some commits because my source is a bit like dirty. Okay, so first of all, everywhere I find console log, it's in these effects. I can just remove these effects. But first, before I do actually remove the effects. I would like to use YC here. So let me get to another. Okay, so it gets to the screen. I will close the editor. And normally here in YAG, language, GSX. And I see that I have app and audio input select. I guess I'm adding both app and audio input select, and now I'm done. I will commit the changes. Okay, so what is happening here? Add audio input device detection and selection component. Initialize image stream and audio input device state. Implement device enumeration using meta devices API. Implement device enumeration using media devices API. Okay, so this is correct. Create new audio input select component placeholder. Add effects to track audio input changes. Okay, this last one is not really useful. Initialize midstream and audio input device states. So yeah. So there we go with our front end. For solid.js source, we have updated this, so it makes us a new thing like this. And for solid.js, I could already go and review. I don't know if I have anything on GitHub about bookrec. Well, there is no such repo at the moment, but I should actually put like the code in here as well. For now, I have this audio input selects. I would like to add a prop to. So I will look at the tutorial for how is it possible you actually, oh man. Alright. Do the props here. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I want to take a coffee first. So my coffee is right here. The screen is a bit too big on this one. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's see how we make some components with Solid.js. Let's remember it's the AudioSelect component, so pretty specific, pretty technical. All right. And I have a big problem with let's use Solarize with this editor, especially. I don't know why, but I do not like that much working with VS Code. For the moment, it's okay, but like it's gonna start scratching me in a few. Okay, so meanwhile, in the browser, I had some import paths from folder. So we searched a lot about, and we also had some nice tutorial introduction components. So alright, so this is only the introduction. We have signals, derived signals. Oh yeah, we can create a derived signal. Show for index switch dynamic portal error binary. We can do a for. I think that map is already how you do a for. There's show on click equals toggle. So here we're more into a for loop for our selector. So we have ID and name. It's exactly what we have, some label and some ID. And we return ULLI a target blank, one Garfield. We need to change that by derived loop. So there is a for components each equal cats cat AI. So apparently the for component is the best way to loop over an array of objects as the array of for updates or move items into DOM rather than recreating them. Let's look at this an example. So for is how you actually do this. Where do you get for from? Oh, okay, you import for from solid.js, and you can get cat.name or cat.id, which is pretty much what we would be looking for. Okay, so let's get back to VS Code here. I want to try first here if I put inputs equals to audio inputs. Something like this instead. And so let's see if I do log audio input select here. Here, create effects. Create effects from solid.js. And we have here props. Console.log. The thing is, it's not an effect, right? It's derived from an effect. Can I send a signal? Props.inputs. All right, so let me check this. So apparently, whereas I didn't clear the log, but I see that the logs appear twice, meaning that I think I'm getting the results I was looking for. So let me remove this create effect here and restart this. Apparently, we get our selector in the effects here. So, okay. And so I have inputs and I have count. So it's audio inputs count. And so on this side, it is as well props.inputs.count. So if audio dot, or sorry, that's audio.inputs. So if audio.input dot length equals to, so this is props actually, equals to props dot count, then in this case we have a match. I would like to see console.log props dot inputs. So it will match twice. It will match here and then over there. So maybe instead I could say const inputs equals to props dot inputs, and I will have count as well to be prop dot count. But everything is pretty straightforward since we managed to use solid.js concepts, and the equation is pretty simple. You have signals, and the other side of the equation are the effects. So I'm indeed creating props here. Dot inputs props dot count. Apparently it's not really loaded to do such thing. So maybe this is the right way actually. Alright. And if inputs dot length equals count and count equals 4, like is strictly greater than 0, then I will console.log inputs. Alright, and there we go. And if I really refresh it right now, I will just have this when the component gets initialized. So when we get this, we got like the inputs. And I would like to create a signal, a derivated signal. Maybe it's a derivated signal, maybe it's not a derivated signal. Not quite sure. What is the title for this one? But for a derivated signal, so I would like to come back to the tutorial, which was pretty good. Solid.js. For solid docs tutorial solid.js. There we go. So we would like to do a for loop here over each of the components we have there. By the way, I would like to just take these off and take this off as well. Take this off as well. So like this. Interesting. All right, so I've got this little list here with my labels. So I will do a for loop here, and from solid.js I will add for, and here I would like to have for, and then the syntax is for each equal. And now instead of this, I need to create a derivated signal. So I don't know if there is something about derivated signals, derived signals. Apparently there is something about it. We have seen that whenever we access a signal in JSX, it will automatically update the view when that signal changes. But the component functions itself only executes once. We can create new expressions that depend on signals by wrapping a signal in a function. A double function that access a signal is effectively also a signal. When its wrapped signal changes, will turn updates. Okay. So this is a derived signal and just works as it is. So we don't really have to take care of much more logic and to carry on more logic in here. It's already done for us. All right. So I would like to create a derived signal from the inputs here, and I will call it like audio inputs, because I don't like to, here it's not anymore a signal. So once we have choose the audio components that we will select from, it will just be inputs in here, and then you have props inputs in here, and that's everything that's already set, unless I want to create a signal that changes in case we have a new signal, and this is an effect actually. So every time we have props.inputs, this effect will be computed again. So we could have a change in here. I'm not sure this will work actually, but instead of this, we can do here inputs and set inputs. Which will be dynamically typed. So it will be create signal from solid.js. Here, create signal, and it's gonna be a list. And here we have set inputs to inputs. So for each, and then I think it's inputs here, and we use indeed the signal inputs. So for each inputs, let's see again about the for loop here. Then we take, it's give us a function. Like inside you can give it like a function that will map something like input and I. We can make then a list element, and that list element can have whatever is here. It says a target, for example, blank, and we can have some click action. So the action will be to set up the stream we want to record from. So this is something we want to put inside of the store of the application. When we need to make data come back up the components, we need to use the store. And I'm quite sure there is something as called as a store, so nested reactivity. One of the reasons for fine-grained reactivity in Solid is that it can handle nested updates independently. You can have a list of users, and when we update one name, we only update a single location in the DOM without diffing the list itself. Very few, even reactive UI frameworks can do this. But how do we accomplish this? In the example, we have a list of to-dos in a signal. In order to mark a to-do as complete, we would need to replace the to-dos with a clone one. This is how most frameworks work, but it's wasteful as we rerun the list, diffing, and recreate the DOM elements as illustrated in the console log. Indeed. Instead, we create a signal here, set to-dos, and then ID, to-do ID, text completed, set completed. All right, that's just above me right now. It's just above me. Well, so so instead of doing this, set to-dos map to-do ID completed is not to-do completed, we can do set to-dos, and instead of the map, we can do expand to-dos and add like a new to-do ID of which completed and set completed. Create signal false. Now we can update the completion state by calling set completed without any additional diffing. This is because we have moved the complexity to the data rather than the view. And we know exactly how the data changes. Const to-dos.find if to-do.set completed, to-do.completed. I don't really understand the abstraction undergoing here. I don't really understand the abstraction we are even talking about. All right, can we have an intro about stores first, or create a store, or whatever is a store? Create store. Stores are Solid's answer to nested reactivity. There are proxy objects whose properties can be tracked and can contain other objects which automatically become wrapped in proxies themselves, and so on. To keep things light, Solid creates underlying signals only for properties that are accessed under tracking scopes, and so all signals in stores are created lazily as requested. So those are proxy objects whose properties can be tracked and can contain other objects which automatically become wrapped in proxies themselves, and so on. Alright, the create store call takes the initial value and returns a read-write tuple similar to signals. The first element is the store proxy, which is read-only, and the second is a setter function. So here we have to-dos, set to-dos, create signals, const add to-do, set to-dos. We're adding some to-do, all right. Then we have toggle to-do, set to-do, to-dos dot map to-do. All right, but weren't we seeing something else just before? To actually switch, we don't need to do this map from to-do. We can just like use something like set completed and use set completed as for the proxy store. And I think it's something I'm gonna see again in here. Exactly. So toggle to do, it will be like set to do's, to do ID equals ID. All right, if set to do's is given a function, completed if it was completed, and then it toggle to do takes a function actually. All right. Well, I'm not quite sure to understand where we're going with this. So right now I was willing to use a store to be able to get the data from the components back to the app. And actually it's not really what I'm being given as an explanation. We are more talking about nested reactivity. One of the reasons for fine-grained reactivity in Solid is that it can handle nested updates independently. You can have a list of user, and when we update one name, we only update a single location in the DOM. All right. Without dipping the list itself, very few things do this. So we have some kind of isolated reactivity we're able to do, and then we have this create store mutation context immutable store without context. Stores are answered for nested reactivity. So this is how we can use them to actually change the state. But like, do we have like actually an example of what a stores do? And we're very far from what I want to do with my application here. My application here, it's already has the list, my set inputs. I just want to be able to update this thing, and I would like to be able to print yeah, href underscore blank, or not even this, but yeah, I mean, I would like just to get input dot label, and that's it. I mean, there you go. There I have already my different devices, and I want to be able to, when I select a device, I will be able to change something in my app state. The thing is that where do I save my app state? One answer will be it comes from the framework. The other answer is more, all right, let's put this into our local storage. How is it even called? Memory storage. It's called local storage. So let me use local storage here. So local storage API, local storage property. So the local storage read-only property of the window interface allows you to access storage objects for the document's origin. The stored data is saved across browser sessions. All right. Can I see some examples here? So set item or get item. So this little component will interact then with the logger storage. So I will for sure be able to have here onClick method, like, all right, so change device or something like this, and this change device will be a function somewhere. So this will be able to change the device, and then I will be able to know which device is being selected right now. So get the device or so. So does it has to be any effects of anything we have been talking about? For sure, maybe later. But right now, let's keep it simple. And for now, let's just keep it simple, not too much of craziness. So what I already have here, all right, so if I first, let's get a little drink. Can't really get it true. So it's change device will change device inside my local storage, for sure. So, and the onClick here, I will call change device, or it will be actually a function to call change device with some parameter here, which will be the device ID that I want to change with. So here I will have something like device ID, and I will set local storage dot set item recording device, and I can call this one device ID. One good thing I could do is more or less to be instead of using here recording device to do some input like local storage, for example. In my source here, I can do new file local storage.js, and here I will do export export const, for example, local storage device ID recording device equals to recording device. So like this, everyone that will need to trigger this, so we get it from here. So here I would import local storage recording device from local storage, and here it will be local storage recording device. Next step in the change device. So that's how I do what happened when I do click on this. I can just do a simple test on my browser, nothing automated. So I can come in here, see when I click, do I already have, so it just puts the ID. Alright, and I can see that the value actually changed when I click on the recording device, and I got the recording device ID. So any other part, a component of the application could get this value from the local storage. Yes, then we can do a little more like of prettiness with what we could expect of the UI, but here it's mostly functional. It's just not pretty at all. And we have the recording device. So when I also change the recording device, I'm not sure how I can to create like a non-media stream, like media device record. So recording a media element while the article using media stream recording API demonstrated using media recorder interface to capture a media stream generated by a hardware device as returned by get user media. You can also use an HTML media element named namely audio video as the source of the media stream to be recorded. So apparently it's just always getting a media stream, and we can get it from media user, but I think it's as well possible to get from, if I go to media device, it's possible to get so video tracks, no. In media device, instance methods, gets display media, get supported, get user media. So get user media, what is the value between return here? You got constraints, it returns whose filming handler receives a media stream. Here I don't receive like a media stream anymore. I receive a device ID when I do enumerate devices. So so again, if I do receive browser compatibility, examples, get user media, enumerate devices. The enumerate devices method of the media device interface requests a list of currently available media input and output devices such as microphones, camera, headsets, and so forth. The return premise is resolved in an array of media info object describing the device. How do you get the media stream? So return value, examples that might produce, or if one or more media streams are active or persistent, permissions are granted, which is what I receive. So apparently there is media capture and streams. This is the complete spec. So record audio. With media device ID. We got device ID, group ID, kind, label, hero to JSON. Canvas capture media stream track. Input device info. Media devices, media stream. The media stream interface of the media capture and streams API represents a stream of media content. A stream consists of several tracks such as audio, video, or audio tracks. So capture stream. You can obtain a media stream. So media devices, you can get display media as well. So meta interface prompts the user to select and grant permission to capture the contents of a display or portion thereof, such as a window, as a media stream. The resulting stream can be recording using the media stream recording API. Well, I don't want to go this way. I have select audio output. The media device info interface contains information that describes a single media input or output device. The list of device obtained by calling Navigator media devices dot enumerate device is an array of media info, one per media device. You got device ID, group ID, kind, label. You have two JSON. Here is an example. See also the WebRTC API. Web real-time communication is a technology that enables web application and sites to capture and optionally stream audio and or video media, as well as to exchange arbitrary data between browsers without requiring an intermediary. The set of standards that comprise WebRTC makes it possible to share data and perform teleconferencing peer-to-peer without requiring that the user install plugins or any other third-party feature software. WebRTC consists of several interrelated APIs and protocols which work together to achieve this. The documentation you will find here. Okay, let's see. Introduction to WebRTC protocols. Real-time transport protocol, establishing a connection, signaling and video calling, using RTC data channels, RTC peer connection. Not sure that this is what we are looking for here. Okay, but you have get user media here. Media device, get user media, and it's so this is all like interfaces. Then I have media devices. That is very important for this API. Alright, so record audio from browser. How to record audio for a website. Using the media stream recording API. It really looks like we have to use media stream. Oh, a sample application, web dictaphone. The only problem is that we are using get user media. It provides an easy way to record from the user inputs devices and instantly use the result in web apps. Alright, so here we have some CSS goodies. Checkbox hack for showing, hiding. Grab the source code. Documentation using the media recording API explains how the web dictaphone works. So this is where we are. And we have media recording API landing page, includes API and reference and more. For media recorder API. The media stream recording API, sometimes referred as the media recording API or the media recorder API, is closely affiliated with media capture and streams API and the WebRTC API. The media stream recording API makes it possible to capture the data generated by a media stream or HTML media element objects for analysis, processing, or saving to disks. Okay, creates first step. Set up a media stream in the form of an audio, or maybe we can just use the audio element, to be honest. And so there's controls and we have some source. Can we use a source here as being a device ID, for example? How to pay controls. Control is cross origin. Loop muted preload. The URL of the audio can play complete ended. It just doesn't look like it's the right source. Audio element dot source object equals stream. So it's possible here. You can also use the Web Audio API to directly generate and manipulate audio streams from JavaScript code rather than streaming pre-existing audio files. You can set the source objects in JavaScript to a media stream object. This is commonly used for live audio streams on real-time audio processing. So we have the source object here. Property for the HTML sets or return the object which serves as the source of the media associated with the HTML media element. So if we're able to get the media stream from a device ID, so media stream for device ID, then it's a win. Can we just create instance properties, active and ID, get track by ID, not sure, add track, remove track, media stream. We can build it from stream and from tracks. A different media stream object with tracks are added to the newly created stream automatically. The tracks are not removed from the original stream, so they are shared by the two streams. An array. Okay. And examples. Yeah, this is pretty easy example. We already know about this one. How to get media device ID that user selected in requests. For me, it's in my case here, I don't get. So if I just stop allowing this in here, just reload the page here. I need to. Oh. Okay, so actually I do need to allow from one single microphone. So but then I cannot change it, right? Man, that's illegal. That's really bad. So this audio select thing is not anymore a thing at all. So we just get user media, and from get user media we know which device is being selected. That last one just saved us, right? So there is an answer though. You can obtain the device ID dot get settings device ID on media track object, then use the device ID to match against the device in enumerate the device. Says once matched you will get an object back. Okay, sir. Okay, so very good. So gets user media ID is the thing that actually gets you the current stream. So here I have set stream when I get user media ID. So they say that if you get settings and divide device ID from in here, so I might just get some information here. Const device ID set device ID equal create signal empty here. It would be, so we could like set stream to stream, and we'll also have stream dot get settings. Is it? I think it's stream dot get settings. I'll just try to log this function here. It looks like it's not correct. So get settings is not a function. It looks like it's a media stream. So media stream device ID. So there is an ID property. There is stream.id. There's get tracks, add track, remove track. You can obtain device ID on a media track object. So it will be like get tracks first. So it will be like more like get audio tracks. This is a media stream, right? So get audio tracks. Get audio tracks. And so this audio tracks will have an audio, and we indeed see that though this is the there's a get settings. So for each track we'll like have track dot get settings, and instead of logging this, I will instead like console.log this. And yeah, Let's reload that. So we got one object here with the device ID being the same, so as in here. So I can set here set device ID. So instead of logging the track, so for each track, here we know there is only one, but the code might break if we have more than one track in here. This is not the rightful way to do it, but I should try to say that if I have more than one track, then I have to report that as that it's not a compliant use of our service here. And that should be reported. So I don't have an idea of how to report this if not ending hours of making a tracking tool and a bug reporting tool. That would be an amazing project, but right now let's try just to focus on this task, which is to overlight with a different color, the text color. So here we're able to put like text into a green 700. I would like to at least do like something like text blue 500 or 400. So I have track.get settings, and I will set the device ID to be whatever it has to be. So, and here I will set another for like current device equals to device ID. So that's what I want to change here. And then setting device ID to be what? Sorry about that. Okay, so mainly the create effect. Sorry about that. So yeah, we have device ID, we had the set device ID. I have to get it when we do track.get settings, as we have seen just earlier, that it's possible to do get settings and then device ID. It's possible that there is no such thing as a device ID, but for now I will just set device ID. If the get settings object doesn't conclude, it's possible that we have a different version, but what I want instead is that in here, if I would like to concatenate, like to add some class, some how you do generate this, you add like class list, I guess. Class list equals to so if input dot device ID equals to props dot, so it is supposed to be, so now I'm just going to give the signal equals to props dot device ID. So if input device equals to props device ID, then I would make text blue 800, I don't know, or 400. Otherwise it will be like text black or text dark. I don't know taillight by heart. So text black, colors, working with colors, text color, it's text black. So here I have props device ID is not a function. Yeah, it's because it's props.current device, I think. Current device. Okay. So apparently, it didn't work for a reason. So I have a for and I have a show in the toggle, so I might like just use show. Show when, and then we have a fallback. So we'll use like instead show when so they have this little function, so when input.device ID equals to props.current device so fall back to list class equal text blue 400 input dot device dot label Don't really understand very well JSX. You can put like things inside of them, but like, don't get it though. Why? Should I maybe remove this? And here, same thing as a fallback, except that, oh yeah. Actually, J6 is pretty clear. There was only a little syntax error over there, and otherwise I use like text blue 800 for my input label. Yeah, and the for loop actually is not supposed to close. Yeah, it is supposed to close. And okay. So that's what we were expecting to have here. So if I do just remove allowing unit permission for this, and I'm starting like the arbitrary microphone, then the device will change to arbitrary microphone. So this is our AudioSelect component. I thought I would be able to, but I misunderstood the API first. I would be able to select from here the device ID, something that I cannot actually handle here. And currently it will only be like the one that is enabled in the get user media stream, get user media API. That's what's gets returned. What gets returned by the get user media API, sorry, is what I have to use. And so I have to get tracks, and from those get tracks I can from the stream I can like record something out of there. We have a nice example of how to do so in this web dictaphone. We can play with the live demo, and we can also read this using the media recorder API, just right here. So regardless to the CSS goodies, basic app setup. So we have record, stop, sound clips. So all of this is vanilla JavaScript. It's not really about we don't have to take care about these because we are using solid.js here instead for a good framework. We have to capture the media stream here, which is the most rewarding thing. So we have a media recorder that gets the stream somehow. So I have this set stream, and normally it can have create an effect on stream. We already have an effect on stream, derivative effects. And by the way, I just want to commit these changes I just made. So let me get back in here. Turn YAG language equals to JS and GSX. So yeah, I have unstaged changed for app, for audio input and local storage. Add audio input device selection UI. Track current audio device ID and app components. Implement audio input select component with implement audio input select component with device listing. Add local storage support for persisting device selection. Not really. Not really. Remove debug logging effects. And style. So this one I didn't like talk about it previously. Style selected and selected device with different colors. So this is the most important one. With tracks current audio device ID and app component. Style current and selected devices with different colors, and we implement audio input select component with device listing. Add local search support, so not really. So this one is not something we really do. I would say try local storage. Support for persisting device detection, not really. So this was more or less the issue. What we have been doing. So now the next thing to do would be to I can also create a GitHub repo offline so that you can access the code. All the links I am visiting as well are actually quite good, but I'm not really saving the data. With AI, we could like really make something incredible regarding to what you're browsing, making a summary of what you're browsing. So for example, if I take this website, I go to Notebook LM, for instance, and I try Notebook LM, and I create a new website here, paste, insert. We could have an audio overview, briefing doc. This MSDN docs introduces the media stream recording API, a tool that enables web application to easily record audio and video streams, especially when combined with get user media. The text provides practical demonstration through a web-based dictaphone example, illustrating how to capture user input, recording into a blob, and then play it back. Furthermore, the article touches on relevant CSS techniques used in the example application and outlines the basic JavaScript setup required to implement the recording functionality. Yeah, I mean that's quite cool. That's quite it. as we can use those tools further to save these links, and gets back some um, some data. I mean, like some clear data about what we're doing, and get the knowledge graph of what we're doing. It took only a few seconds to actually get back this from Notebook LM. It was for free. I don't know how much you can use a Google API for doing this kind of stuff, but it would be amazing if we could. All right, so here I could like remove the microphone, select instead here the one I want to use, which is Steinberg UR22 MK2, which is the microphone I'm using right now to record my book, so I know that is my selected device. And now I will need to add a little component for recording the stream. So I don't know where to place it, but for sure I will go from the application to the top level and go top to bottom to this component, like where I will be able to get the audio prop. For now, I think that 1 hour 40 is good, but like because I did a long break before, I'm not sure I deserve a break now. I could try to at least make a little button, like a little circle, for the record button and for the record component. But this has to go for new sets actually, because I want this video to say about the AudioSelect component. So thank you very well for watching this. If I will be starting a new, just subscribe to see if I'm starting a new live stream on or expected tomorrow morning for the record button and to get bookrec ongoing. We will also be back to Golang very soon, and we will have to design a NATS protocol. There is also a NATS game I want to. So NATS is message-based API server. So instead of using HTTPS, we could like make everything event-driven application, and this has been quite a while. I wanted to make an event-driven application. We can make a cute game. We can make it with solid.js with some cars like crashing into each others, making each car a component of the application. I don't know if solid.js is good enough and fast enough for a game. I mean, any framework tends to be quite hard to develop with a framework because it's always like a huge overhead. Don't know if solid.js goes that much clearly next to. So it would be nice to see like what are the optimization issues we can get with this voice. But for now, I'm just going through bookrec and trying to make this little quick app. Like, it's not a quick app, but like we will use NATS event-driven messaging for the communication between backend and frontend. based onto WebSockets. So we will see also how this will integrates in interoperates with Solid.js and WebSockets. All right, thank you and see you very soon again.